Haere mai, and welcome to Neat and Not by the Sea, Flosstube number 50-something. Since we are filming at Catherine's beautiful abode, I'm hosting. So my name is Victoria, and this is a Flosstube video, and I never get these starts right. This is Catherine.
Kia ora, my name is Catherine, and my pronouns are she, her. And I've already filmed in Spanish, so a little bit hoarse, so I'm having my coffee.
Oh yeah, and it's Saturday, so we're a bit later because I cancelled.
And I rejoiced.
Yeah, we're a bit knackered.
Knackered. Knackered is the word. You might not say knackered in some places. America, do you say knackered? It's such a good word.
It means exhausted and tired and just...
It means many things, but we're using it in the context of exhausted.
Yes.
Yes.
Did I say it was Saturday, the 2nd of September, and just a heads up, this is going to be our second to last video before Catherine goes away.
Yes.
So there'll be a bit of a break of, we'll probably come back to you mid-November.
Yeah, so I was...
one in mid-September and one maybe mid-November.
Yeah. So I was already saying in Spanish that I'm just generally really tired. Probably because I've had to save all my leave so that I can go away for 5 weeks. But yeah. I mean, I commute on the bus, and it's a 12-hour day.
It is.
And it's not like Victoria, who sometimes does 12-hour days of actual work, but no, it's my commute that makes it longer.
And with you living out, no longer in Port Chalmers anymore, it's a little bit more of an effort to get together.
Yeah.
But we'll make the commitment. We'll be back. We're just taking a break while you go swanning around.
But we're coming once more before I go on holiday. Yeah,
we just give you a warning.
But I also think it's psychological.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go into town. Like I live away from town for good reason. I like being away from town, so it's hard to kind of think, oh, it's the weekend, I don't want to go into town. But anyway, anyway, it's always lovely to see Victoria. So we will continue to make an effort, but there will be a wee break. One more and then a wee break. Plus
you're away for like 6 weeks, so it's more to do with the fact that you just won't be in the country.
I'm away for actual 5 weeks, which is great. I got my long service leave, so I was able to book my holiday.
No.
So 2 weeks of long service leave. I've been in my job I've been in the university for 10 years. I've had maybe 5 jobs in that time, and
it's good that
I had 2 weeks. So because there's a bank holiday. And the weekends, I'm only using 20 days leave.
Oh, good job.
Going away for 5.
Good job.
So it's great. Yeah. So anyway, waffle.
So what have you been up to for the last 2 and a bit weeks?
Well, I was just telling them about my garden. I've collected seaweed twice, yesterday and today. Yesterday we went at lunchtime with a car. We parked, we walked, came back. We were scouting for seaweed, and then when we found the piles of seaweed, Martin was able to drive to pick me up from the seaweed, so that was really great. I've done some planting in the garden, so I'm very excited. I've planted mesclun and lettuce and red and brown onion and perpetual spinach and beetroot, if I didn't say beetroot already. And the thing is that when I came to New Zealand to live, I was very puzzled because you couldn't find onion sets. Like in the UK, you plant onion sets. I had never seen onion seeds. So see, puzzled look.
What's an onion set?
An onion set is an onion that has been allowed to grow to a certain point. So they're about this big.
Ah.
So you don't have to have them in the ground for 9 months. It's just like 3 months and they're now an onion.
Well,
so
I've got onions in my pantry that are sprouting. Do you want those?
No, but you could plant them. So yeah, I've planted quite a few rows of red and brown onions, so I'm excited about that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
For those of us who are less
gardening-y,
do you want to explain what you use the seaweed for and how you prepare it?
Oh yes.
I do know this, but I just only because she explained.
So we have an organic garden, not a certified organic one, but we just don't use fertilizers, artificial fertilizers, or like insecticides, pesticides. So everything is done naturally, and the soil here is not very good. So it's always really good to bring seaweed. Seaweed has a lot of nutrients. So I bring it from the beach, rinse out the sand and the soil, the sand, and then I grow asparagus. Now asparagus, you may not know, is actually a sandy plant that has been domesticated. So every year in winter, not on the first day of spring, but in winter you're supposed to give it a dressing of seaweed. because we've done it on the 1st of filming September.
But it's still cold enough to be winter.
Yeah, that still counts as winter to me. 22nd of September will be spring for me. Anyway, so I gave it a dressing, quite a lot of seaweed on top of the... I've got 3 asparagus clumps here. And then I have started a liquid fertilizer bucket. So I rinsed out the seaweed, put it in a bucket, filled it with rainwater, and I'm going to go and gather weeds from all over the place. Over time that will break down, and then you end up with this gunky brown water, which has got the nutrients that the plant had. So that will be a liquid feed for the garden.
Excellent.
Yes. And I have to kind of beg Martin to come with me because he's not gardening. Like, he'll do certain jobs, but there are certain jobs he's like, nah. But I don't want to buy everything for the garden. You know, we're already having to buy soil and buy mulch because we're starting out. So I really want to do things where I'm not having to go out to a shop to sort it out. So anyway, he was very sweet. He came and helped yesterday, and today he came and waited in the car. Well, that's what he said, but he did end up having to help me because I got a bit ambitious with one of the clumps. It was like dragging it. But I was really impressed with myself because I was out of bed by 10.
Wow, that's early for you.
Very early, which is kind of unheard of.
And that is early full stop, not just for you, but it was early.
See, that might be our overshare alert because, you know, Catherine and Victoria. I've started taking HRT. Because, see, I'm not having bad perimenopause symptoms. I do get hot flashes, but they're not very common. Sometimes at night, but not all the time. So maybe every 6 weeks or so, I'll have a bad run. Like 3 nights where I'm like drenched, next night drenched, next night drenched. And then it settles again. So it kind of felt like there was no reason to go and get HRT because I kind of think, well, you know, menopause is normal. It's another phase. But I do suffer from exhaustion, and I just had my blood levels checked, and my iron is actually fine. It's at the low end. It's always at the low end, but it's not bad. It's within normal. So I think it's below 20 for ferritin or hemoglobin, whatever. One of those science terms. Below 20 is low. But I'm 38, and I've been 38 for the last couple of times.
Yeah, so you're just trying to find a cause for the...
Well, no, but you know, and my GP said, I went to tell her about very sore, stiff feet, and stiff joints could be a sign of perimenopause. So she suggested 3 months ago, she said, you could try HRT and see what happens. You can try it. It doesn't make any difference, or you don't like it, come off it. I hadn't actually mentioned the like sheer exhaustion, apart from like the iron angle. Anyway, I've tried it. Maybe that's why I'm not so tired, because it's supposed to help with tiredness as well.
That's going to be interesting to see how you're feeling in a couple of weeks, because I'm assuming you've only been on it for a short period of time.
I think it's been like 10 days now.
Oh, okay. Be interesting to see you again in 2 weeks and see how you if you're feeling it's made a difference. And
yeah, because it's unheard of for me to wake up this early on a weekend.
It's very unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not natural.
Unless you have
and wanting to.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was my decision to get out of bed so early.
Yeah.
So anyway, all this 8 minutes of stuff you did not care about. So apart from that, have we done anything? Oh, I went to see Barbie. No. I felt it was like over-explained, and there's no need. I didn't need to have that explained. I get it. So not a fan, but very much a fan of going with my daughter.
Yes.
And so that was really lovely because we were, you know, it'll be something that we can relate to and refer to. But yeah, I kind of think that it's a film that really 15 to 23-year-olds should go and watch.
Yeah.
Because they're still discovering things about the world and stuff like that, and maybe they haven't been involved in politics or like the real world. Like if they've had very cosseted lives, it might come as a complete revelation. I also felt that it wasn't, I know you've been to see it.
I did.
I didn't think it was a children's movie, and I think it dangerously takes children to movies, and I think if you were a little kid and you didn't understand what they were talking about, you might take away the fact that you must not have cellulite. that seemed to me very loud. Like the little kids, like the 5 and 6 year olds that are being taken, will not even understand that, but it'll be something that'll stay with them. So I
sort of just found it meh.
yeah.
I took my niece. I'm not sure if she didn't understand half of it, I think, but she said she enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Anyway,
I
what
got
about
popcorn and
you?
ice cream. It was great. So
What have you been up to in the last 2.5 weeks?
work. So we had a big deadline on Tuesday, which we met. So I've done some very long days, and when I've tried to do some stitching, I've made some very stupid mistakes. I've done a lot of frogging and redoing.
Did you make that mistake with me
Yep,
before we filmed, or was that a filmy one?
I did it directly after we'd filmed. So after we filmed 2 weekends ago, and Catherine, you were filming your Spanish one, did a major cock up. I'll show you. Which meant I had to restart a piece from the start.
Yes. I mean, I did try and convince her that there was a way of fixing it, but she wasn't having it.
I was like, yeah, I just said to you, whatever, Catherine, I think just
Yeah,
restart it
whatever.
when she
Yeah,
left.
pretty much. Whatever, Catherine. What do you know?
Let's move on.
Have you had any adventures? I can't remember.
Last weekend, we had Guild, the Otago Embroiderers Guild day last Saturday, which was the project that I stuffed up, so I had to restart. And then on Sunday I was working. So no, I've had no adventures. I've worked. And
I'm getting concerned because this was unusual, but now it's becoming very usual for you to work.
I know. I canned it and then it started up again, but next deadline's not for 12 weeks, so we'll see.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there was like a book I had to recommend or something like that.
You were going to talk about the meeting you had with the woman at the university, but you may want to do that later.
What meeting?
Oh, I can't whisper. Okay. You talk to the copyright people at the university.
Oh my God, yes, I've got stuff to tell you. Well done, the young person in the room that remembers. Okay, so in the last episode I said, I don't see why if I deleted what I had in my computer, I couldn't just give Victoria...
This is about sharing PDF patterns.
Sharing PDF patterns. So I phoned... So the copyright manager used to be my colleague. We worked in the same team. So I was like, hi, can I Teams you this afternoon to discuss a copyright issue that is absolutely not work related? He was super lovely. And I was really glad that I phoned him because normally librarians do know about this, and I'm a trained librarian, but I've been out in the library world for years. So anyway, it was really great. So no, you cannot share digital copies, and I'll tell you why. When you buy a paper something, a paper book, or
A physical
or a
object.
physical, or an LP, or a CD, or a cassette, or a book, you're buying the book. Then when things became digital, and this has been tested in court, I believe in the US, but he couldn't remember the details. When you buy, so I buy myself this book, and I love this book, and I say to Victoria, I love it and I've read it tons, I'd like you to have it.
Thank you.
Big lies. I'd like you to have it. So I'm giving her the book, right?
Everyone saw that she gave me the book.
No, I don't have it in my hands. She's going to take it, okay? If I buy the digital edition of this book, I'm actually not buying the book. I'm basically buying a license to read the book. And the license is for this one person that has purchased to be able to read the book for whatever they specify. So that's why you can't share it, because you haven't bought the object. Even if the designer is an indie designer and they don't understand the background of this, that is the law as it stands now. Now, I don't know that it has been tested in Australasia or the UK, but the manager could just remember that this had happened with downloadable music. You know, when you used to be able to buy music from iTunes and stuff like that. Is it iTunes?
iTunes, you can buy music, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not buying a physical object. You're not buying the music. You're just buying a license to use it. That's why.
Yeah. For you as an individual to use it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I think we were under the assumption that we couldn't share PDFs anyway. Or at least I was.
No, people talk about it. But I think people talk about it, and it's always felt to me like it's not professional people that know about it that are talking about it. They're just coming from a really goodwill position of saying it's not fair to share PDFs. And I was just really interested to know the legality behind it.
Yeah.
So there you have it. So you're not getting my pattern. Or my book.
She's so mean to me.
Yes, there you go.
Excellent. Shall we crack on?
Yeah, let's crack on with the very small amount of
Yeah,
stuff
so
that we have
not
to
a lot
share.
of work to do. Well, there's not a lot of stuff that you're going to think, oh, she didn't already have that last week.
Oh yeah,
Well, wait a minute. Did you know I have more than that done last week?
probably. Because it wasn't last week, it was like almost 3 weeks ago, so of course we don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, you start.
I'll start. Okay, I'll start with my biggest catastrophe. You may all...
Which is not even cross stitch.
Oh, it's stitchy related. You may all
We
remember
trap you.
this beautiful Retatrella drum that I'm doing as a guild class by Sue Lucas. Fabulous Sue Lucas.
I'll be able to
And-
give you that blue linen if you haven't done it yet.
Not done it.
Not the background piece.
Oh no, I haven't done it. I would love to see
Great.
that blue linen.
Yeah.
So I think I showed this last week, and I was saying for my class on Saturday I had to finish wrapping all these threads and cutting them. And then after we filmed, and Catherine was filming the Spanish version of her Flosstube, I was cutting this and wrapping it and thinking, I'm so awesome, I'm going to get this finished in plenty of time. Then I cut through the 4 threads that maintain the horizontal bar.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun, right through, just happy clappy, cut right through. And there was nothing.
So that's why you see that there's no white here and there's no threads.
Yeah, so I've got nothing to wrap in that position. And as this is my learning piece, I was like, oh, I'm just going to start again. So I had 1 week to get it to this stage again. Bearing in mind this was I've had 2 months to get it to this stage previously. And finish the wrapping.
You were amazing. You were amazing.
And I did it. I did it in time for the class. And so, there's a pattern behind it, but you can see all the bars are wrapped, and we've started stitching the pattern on. Which is done with a lot of buttonholes and
Buttonhole stitch.
buttonhole stitch. And
Dun dun dun.
so,
this was so impressive.
I've done all of this again.
This was
with
so
a bit of
impressive.
more.
You were super fast in getting back up to speed.
I was like, oh well, we just gotta knuckle down and do it. So I did it, but that took me most of the week because I didn't want to I didn't want to push myself to do it because I knew I'd just make more mistakes. So I was just doing a little bit each night.
Well, it was super fast.
A lot each night, but trying not to break my back. But I did it. I finished it on the Thursday for the class on the Saturday.
Yay!
So that's catastrophe number 1.
Show me.
See, we started putting the...
Yeah, great. That looks a little bit like tatting.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good.
Excellent. Do you want to show your one?
There was this awful sound when she went.
I know, if you watch a Spanish one, you can probably hear me do it.
Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you, because I'm a proper good girl, I'm going to show you cross stitch. I'll say that, there's a tiny bit that I've done. I don't think I've got my pattern here. Have I got my pattern? I just want to show you the front page. No, disorganized. Why am I doing? Anyway,
Do you want me to
it's
find it
called.
for you?
No, you're all right.
Oh, is that one
no,
there?
no, that's the back of the pattern. Consider the Lilies by Beth Twist. You know I love Beth Twist, and her company is called Heartstring Samplery. I think it's in another bag. I think that's what's happened. So this is my piece that's now become my political piece because of police and government brutality that's trying to stop people from protesting. So what it says here is no más criminalización a la protesta social. That means stop criminalizing social protest. And I have finally embroidered my women from Puno.
They look fabulous.
Yeah, I'm really happy with them. I just did it by eye. I faffed around. I was nervous of doing it. I mean, they don't look exactly as they should. Women from Puno, oh, that's your car. Women from Puno, which is a department in Peru, are more solidly built. So they should be chubbier. But you know, this is kind of like an idea. I did kind of follow the contours of the man and the woman, but I did put a couple of extra lines on the side to make them a little bit, but they've still come out But anyway, I love their hats. They have this traditional hat that is like a bowler hat made with felt. I've got a couple of threads dangling because they have they wear a lilla, or maybe they're Aymara women, so it wouldn't be called a jig. But it's a square that they wear as a wrap, and then they pin it together. Oh, that's what was doing something. It was my needle. And they're very emblematic red skirts. So super happy to have finally done this. I love that tree.
It's
I love all of
beautiful.
it. I'm super happy. So anyway, I can continue now making progress. I'm very happy with how this is turning out. But again, you know, I find myself, I think it's because I am tired, I find myself gravitating to projects where I don't have to think. And it turns out that even with cross stitch I have to think, so I'm not thinking. I'm doing knitting because I really don't have to think, and I'm doing quilting, which I really don't have to think. What can we do? Go on, what about yours?
So the second piece that I worked on, believe it or not, is Snow Garden, which is part of the bomb that I'm doing through Stitch Witches. Having a great time. You may recall that this time last week, I'm not sure whether I did, but you know, in the last 2 weeks, that whole house and the wee snow underneath it was all completed, looking fantastic. You'll notice that there's no longer the house or the snow in the stitch. I put it in the wrong place.
And it was probably completely unnecessary for you to shift it, but it would niggle you, wouldn't it?
It would have niggled me. It took me 2 days to unpick it because I had finished
and
the
of
house.
course, this is neutrals on neutral.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay for Victoria's personality.
Yay!
But you have to be happy because it does make you unhappy to have it.
It does.
Not right.
It does.
You just have to be happy. It's just one of those things.
But I have finished the border. I finished that today. That was this morning because I was also up very early this morning because I bought what ended up being a glass-fronted bookcase, and I'm going to replace the glass with UV glass, and that's where I'm going to put all my treasures, my stitchy things, so it doesn't fade, so they don't fade. But you know, we got the border now. We'll do it.
Show me the house. How big would it have been?
Well, if you look at the back, you can see where all the stitches were.
Yeah, that's quite
It's
a
a
bit.
good chunk, you know.
That is quite a bit. Ah, well.
C'est la vie. You're going to get more bang for my buck out of this one.
Really good value.
Really good value for money.
Okay, my next one is, and this even less progress. And I may have already showed you this, but you know, whatever. Another Beth Twist pattern from Heartstring Samplery, and this is His Eye is on the Sparrow. Another one that I love, of course, because I'm that predictable. I love her work. And of course, again, it's multicolored. And all I have done, so so I changed the saying from a religious saying to this one, which is, Si te quiero es porque eres mi amor, mi cómplice y todo. Y en la calle codo a codo somos mucho más que dos. So this is a line of poetry by Benedetti. I think Benedetti was Uruguayan. Could be wrong. He died. He passed away a few years ago. But it was put to music by Susana Baca, who's a very impressive, amazing Peruvian singer, musician. And these are the two bits that I have fantastically done, because I am that amazing. These two little blue flowers.
Beautiful.
I know. Took all of 20 minutes each. Woo! But look at the fantastic colourness.
It looks amazing. You're almost
look
finished
amazing.
that top.
Remember 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring it up.
Yeah. Gosh, it's funny, isn't it? Anyway, I'm super happy with it.
Just
Delighted.
beautiful.
Yes. So that's cross stitch for me.
Well, this is the final one. Done a tiny bit on my pub stitch, which is Peacock, a Unicorn, a Badger by Scarlet Letter. And I can't quite remember what I did. Oh no, I did. No. So I outlined and spotted both those strawberries.
Is it a white strawberry?
No, it's the red in the middle. I just haven't filled it in.
Okay.
And did that little strawberry flower there. So
Isn't the strawberry something that was a different colour anyway? That they modified over centuries?
oh,
Might be. I can't remember. It's
Were
just
they
made me
blue?
No, there are no blue fruits, I don't think, apart from blueberry.
Berries. Yeah. Anyway, it's
Fantastic.
coming along. This is still my go-to at the moment. I'm just loving it.
Nice.
And that's my stitchiness. So a lot of restitching and unfit stitching. And I just need a good nap.
And tiredness, yeah. Okay, on to non-stitchy. Do you have any non-stitchy?
Just shopping because, I still make time for that.
Okay, so I'm not going to unfold this, but I'm now quilting my half square triangle quilt. So if you will remember, all these halves are shirts from secondhand shopping. So I love that. And the others are from Stash. Some secondhand shopping as well. So it's normally something quite intense or bright or eye-catching, and then like a man's shirt, sort of more subtle sort of background. But I don't know how much you can see, but I've started stitching, and all I'm doing is a vertical line in blues. So I've picked out from my box, because I'm so clever. I've realized I don't have to have the entire box in the bedroom. I just pick out some little balls of the pearl cotton and I bring it to the bedroom. So I've got maybe 8 different blues, and each line is a different blue.
And you're just going straight down the whole quilt?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Vertical lines, yeah. And then when that's done, then I'll go horizontal.
In a blue
And
as
then
well?
in blues, yeah. And I'll decide. I mean, at the moment I'm thinking blues, but I make decisions at different stages. So I'm going to finish the verticals with all the blues and see. Maybe orange will be calling me. I don't know. So anyway, I'm very happy about this.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And this one is for me to keep. I did give my daughter-in-law her quilt. It was okay. I think I got to the point where I was okay to give it to her.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's just really meditative to do the hand quilting, so I'm just really glad that
You've got
I
plenty
started
to be
with
going
this.
on with.
I do, but it was really interesting because I felt like I needed a space between quilts. So it took me about a week to start this one. It's like reading novels, I can't go from one novel to the next. I always have a stop. So anyway, yay. Can you, that way? It's just me with my 3 projects. Victoria doesn't have any other non-stitchy. I'm continuing the work on my blanket, which is going to rest on this very beige sofa. Don't you think it'll look fantastic?
It's going to look phenomenal.
So you'll remember I've done about a 1/5 of the width is this honeycomb stitch, which you know from other programs that it's one of my favorite stitches, and the rest is just plain knitting, so knit stitch. I've probably done maybe 6 or 7 balls now.
What was the decision about not making the whole thing the honeycomb? Just for interest, or?
Well, it's just a design decision. I think it adds interest to not cover the whole thing. I think things that are contrasts are more interesting than just one thing. So I'm really happy. I'm still doing it on the bus. I think I'll be all right. It'll be all right for ages. I mean, I'm quite the professional bag lady. I can carry a full bag for a long time. So I've used 6. I probably have another 10 balls here, and I've ordered 15 more. So
Ooh, it's going to be a big blanket.
it is, yeah.
It needs to be. It's going to be gorgeous.
I want it to be as long as a human.
Yeah.
And as wide as, yeah.
Comfortably cover yourself.
Yeah, that's the idea. Anyway, I am kind of hoping that one of my children will steal it. It's always, they think that they've got one over me if they steal something from the house, and I'm like,
I get to make that again.
Or just like, they like my stuff. So that's really cool. And my last thing is I've got to show off my new top. So Christina, my youngest, who's back from Europe, she's been tidying up her wardrobe and deciding what she doesn't like. And she just brought these 2 bags for the op shop, and I was like, I'm just going to look through them. And there was this linen top. I don't wear black. You will never see me in black. But it was just such a nice shape. And I'm all about loose and boxy now. So it's just like gathered here, and it's a sack. So I was like, oh yes, I'll have that. So because I don't wear black, I've embroidered these panels on the front, just freestyle. I didn't draw them beforehand, but it's like weird mutating sort of flower with a fish and another fish, and this little house that was inspired by an embroidery that I saw on Instagram, but also, you know, my house is, I like this as a symbol of my house as well, but also some South African embroideries that I have. And I've been looking at vernacular African architecture. And they have these beautiful round houses, very simple decorations, just so stunning. So all that was channeled into this. And then because there's been a lot of talk in the house about the super blue moon, I felt like I wanted to have a moon, which of course I made red, not blue, and some stars. And then, I'm going to decorate the entire blouse because I've got time.
Too much black for you.
Too much black, and I also have time. And I've done this. So I've done these little like inverted pyramids. And then I did above that. So the inverted pyramids are all in different colors. See, and now it turns to blue ones. There is even one that's two colors.
I've got green ones over here.
Yeah, so I'm particularly fond of this green one because I was doing orange ones. Oh, it's funny that it doesn't show us orange. So this one's red, this one's pink, this one's orange, but it's kind of coming out as yellow, but it's orange, 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 and this one's orange and lime green, which I enjoy. And then these little square ones, in the middle there's a blue stitch. It's actually a blue cross. And then I was like, you can't see that. So then I highlighted it with the orange square. And I really like that the squares are not geometrically correct. They're all kind of wonky, which is, I love. And the pièce de résistance is these. So if you like Indian embroidery, you will have come across shisha embroidery. Now shisha means mirror, so you will have seen, like, so many of the pieces that come out of India have this embroidery detail. And I thought it'd be really fun to have it on the sides of my tunic, so that when I move, it kind of, the light bounces off it. It's the first time I've done this stitch. I think I was worrying that it was going to be hard. I've had them for about 3 years. I bought it for myself as a treat when I finished my postgraduate diploma in business administration. I'm such a wild one. Oh, I'll buy myself a little bag of 30 little mirror circles.
Mirror discs.
So anyway, it's just, you anchor it with some straight stitches, then you do a back stitch around the circle, and then it's just basically a very close blanket stitch, or buttonhole stitch is what you call it when you do it closely like that. And that's it. It was super easy. Super
Beautiful.
easy. And I only started it yesterday, and I finished it in my craft group. Can't really see the colours. Anyway, the colours don't match on both sides. I think this one's different on both sides. So, yay! I'm very happy with this.
I love the wee stitches you put around the
Oh, and I
sleeves.
put some stitches on the sleeves.
Just green. It's beautiful.
You know, little wonky lines. I'm very happy, but I particularly love the fronts. I think they're ridiculous, and I love them. And Martin loves fish, and when he still worked at the university, we would have lunch dates. Because I'm a cheap date, we would go and look for fish in the river. That was our date. He loves fish. So yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
Right. What about you? You've done some therapy.
I did a little bit of
retail
shopping.
Therapy.
That I accidentally bought. Wasn't supposed to, but I did. So we'll start with these. These were on the counter, the front counter at Stitch Witches, and I fell in love with them. And I was only going to buy one.
You do realise there's like chocolate at the checkout.
I know. It's like the eyes. Yeah, I'm such a sucker. So it's in 2 colours. It's red and blue. They're different patterns. And I was only going to buy one, and I put them behind my back, and I shuffled them round, and then I made Sue. The lovely Sue, pick an arm, and that was the one I was going to buy, and then I was like, just screw it, I want both, so I bought both. So
this was after she already had a word with herself to not
very
spend.
strong words with myself in the car, because I was just dropping something off. Aren't they gorgeous? They make little pears.
Someone was doing a pair stitch along recently. I can't remember who it was.
I'll show the blue ones. You want the red ones?
Yeah. There you go.
And I bought the thread, and I thought I had fabric, but apparently I don't, so I've got to go back in.
Do they recommend a thread?
They do.
Oh,
There's
so
a
they
thread in the
do.
back, but I didn't
Yeah.
buy these ones. I bought different ones. Like I bought a red. It was a schoolhouse red and a I can't remember what the blue was.
And the thing is, these should be finishable, right?
Yes, because they're just little, and yeah. Sue said she'd done 2 of them, and she did them in like an evening. So
Okay.
it took me 2 evenings. And at the guild meeting last
I
week,
just spied what it is.
Pam, who's a friend of the Flosstube, hello Pam, had some scissor keeps of these on the show and tell table. They are adorable, and so I was like, must get that, and I did. These are Quaker turtles.
Are they
And,
pin cushions or something?
so there's a scissor keep, there's a needle book, there's a pin cushion, and the picture doesn't do it justice. Pam's ones were phenomenally cute.
What colour did you make them?
She had a turquoise one, a green one, and a blue one,
You can't go wrong with turquoise, though,
No.
really, quite frankly.
and they were just delightful. I think she'd done them as gifts.
So you have to make the turtle as well.
Yeah, so you cross stitch and then you make the turtle, and apparently there's pipe cleaners and things involved. It's just gorgeous.
And it is right up your street. You do
It
have this.
is that little quirk.
Yeah.
And the other thing, not stitching related, and I don't think anyone cares, but I'm going to show you anyway.
One
of my
person
Care
cares
Bear-
because they commented on that.
Excellent. One of my Care Bear brooches arrived.
Side angle.
Do a side.
There we go.
There we go. It's super cute. And that's been me.
Oh, well, I've got one thing to show, which is not shopping.
Good.
But someone sent me a gift. Thank you, Margarita. Well, she sent me 3 gifts. They're in the studio and it's been raining, so I didn't go out. But she sent me some of her leftover fabrics, which is great. I'm very excited to have those. And a book on sort of ethnic embroideries from Peru. And this, which is what, it's in the house because I've been looking through it. It's called Stitched Shibori. And it really reminded me of the sort of shibori that I came across in China. It wasn't called shibori because I think shibori is a Japanese term. But you know this style, right? It's a resist technique, but you do it by it's not a wax resist, it's a stitch. So with thread, you sew in a particular thing, and then when it gets opened up, it creates like different looks, like a butterfly or
Cool.
things like that. And some of the designs really remind me of what I bought when I was in China. I bought dress, skirt, top, tablecloth. It was beautiful work, really beautiful work. So now I want to go back to China. Can't afford, but never mind. Isn't this gorgeous? So beautiful and subtle. Anyway, loads to see here. So it's a book that gives you the technique as well. You can make some really interesting sort of modern looking things. It's not just animal shapes and stuff like that. But look at that. You could have that as a centerpiece with the rest of the tablecloth just in blue. That would look amazing. And I also like the fact, because I am planning to start an indigo vat this summer, finally, when I come back from India. But they also had, in other colors, can I even find it? It was, I think it was a yellow, and I was like, oh, I'm more likely to do like yellow dyeing, just because it's just so much more accessible as a natural dyer. Unless I get my vat sorted, because, you know. Is there something here? No. Anyway, I was quite excited because I hadn't. See, I've got yellows, different sorts of yellows changed with iron. So really great. So if you're interested in shibori, this seems to be quite a complete sort of compendium. Jane Callender is the author. Stitched Shibori. Thank you. Really enjoying it. Thank you. And that's it, really.
Right. What are your plans for until we see each other again?
Well, I'm getting wrist pain again.
Oh no!
I just don't have a limit. I don't control myself. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do things in small bits. I do have to finish reading my book. Actually, no, I've decided not to read the book because the subject matter is just too horrific and I don't have to, so I'm not. So my plan is to do craft in little bits, but read around Indian textiles in between. So I'm not going to make a ton of progress because I have to look after myself, but I would like to add more to this top. I think that would be fun.
Excellent.
So what about you? What are you planning to achieve?
So we have the September Odes classes next weekend, where I am doing a gold work initial piece with beautiful flowers and things on it. So I'll be looking forward to getting that started. And I took the plunge and bought the frame that you can buy to frame it in. So I will get this piece finished and in my new cabinet.
Great.
Actually, it'll probably go on the wall, but stitching.
Is this the one that got cancelled?
Yes. Yeah. So the Shirley.
Had you already bought the stuff for the other one?
No.
Okay. No, that's good.
So it's all good. So there's that. I'd like to get the Snow Garden one finished because it should not be taking me this long. And the next month comes out on the 20th. Yeah, I'm just making stupid mistakes, and that's fine.
This year has been about me saying to my brain, if you're too tired to get started, it's your brain telling you you're too tired. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And of course you spend all day working with your hands because you use your supercomputer situation, don't you?
I do. It's exactly, it's like at The Flight of the Navigator. If you've watched that movie, it's exactly like that.
Yeah, which seems amazing.
But it is. I've got use a computer with both hands all the time. Yeah.
So you're hoping to make some progress.
I'm gonna make progress, yes, and start a new project, and probably start those pairs. I've just got to go buy some fabric, and I just have to wait for payday.
The pairs will be a nice palette cleanser.
Yes, and little easy to achieve. Like, oh, we'll just do this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Excellent.
I'm yawning now. I'm going to go for a nap, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, well, have a lovely fortnight. We're hoping to be back on maybe on the Thursday. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hi
and then there'll be a wee break, and then we'll see you again sometime November.
Yeah, and hi to the usual people that support us and stuff. Yeah. Fiona, sending love, and Margarita as well. And yeah, do some stitching.
Yeah.
Kaki day.